Welcome to Politics NY's newest interview series In a Community With, sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Pozaricki, Executive Editor of AM New York Metro. Today we'll be in a community with City Council member Erik Bottcher of Manhattan. He represents the 3rd District, covering the neighborhoods of Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, Greenwich Village, West Soho, Hudson Square, Times Square, Garment District, Flatiron, and the Upper West Side. In 2021, Bottcher won the seat, and he is now up for re-election this November to complete his term. So, Councilmember Bottcher, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start with the topic of ageism, which is something that permeates all aspects of life for New York residents. It's in the workplace, it's in street design, public transportation systems, even how services are promoted and accessed, and even to the built environment itself. What is one ageism issue that you feel has had an impact on your community, and how have you addressed it?
Big issue that so many older adults can relate to is employment discrimination and ageism in employment. And we see that every day in our district. We hear from seniors all the time who are trying to get into the job market, back into the job market. You have many people who aren't ready to retire. They want to keep working. They need to keep working, but they're being discriminated against by employers. We also have people who retired, who thought that they had budgeted for a long retirement and unfortunately find themselves with a need to go back into the workplace because what they budgeted for isn't covering all the expenses. But one thing that we're doing, and I'm so excited about this because we're going to be announcing this next week, is we have created an employment network on the West Side, working with Hudson Guild, Greenwich House, the New York City Employment and Training Coalition. We're creating a partnership on the West Side between employers throughout the West Side, big and small, all the way from Google to Pfizer, all the way down to the local restaurants and the small employers locally. We're creating a partnership between them and all the service providers so that we will be able to connect people in our district with employment opportunities. We have employers who need employees, and we have local residents who need jobs. We're going to create the infrastructure to match the two, with an emphasis on all the folks who've had trouble getting into the labor market, including older adults.
I think that's something that's going to be welcomed by a lot of people, a lot of seniors in the community, that's for sure. Another way AARP is updating, tracking data and tracking livability is through their livability index, which you can find on aarp.org. This scores neighborhoods and communities across the United States based on the services and amenities provided, not just for seniors, but for all people. So, Councilmember, what are some of the challenges in your district with regards to livability? And how are you using your position to make the neighborhoods in your district more livable for everyone?
A big challenge that all New Yorkers have, particularly older adults on fixed income, is the cost of living. And I'll just pick one thing, and that is the cost of food in our district. And it's gone up and up and up across the city, but particularly on the West Side of Manhattan, which has become one of the most expensive areas to live in the entire country. So we've been fighting for more access to affordable, healthy food. And one program that we've launched that I'm so excited about is a fresh food for seniors program that we offer from the spring through the late fall. We're offering an opportunity for seniors at all our local senior centers to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh produce from regional farms in New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Whatever the crop produces at that time, they can purchase for $10 a bag, a pretty big volume of fresh fruits and vegetables right from the farm. And we're bringing it right to the senior centers. So folks, and by the way, it's open to people of all ages, even though we're calling it fresh food for seniors. And if you email District 3 at council.nyc.gov. You can get more information about this program. Every 2 weeks, you can pick up a bag of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Let's talk about the district as a whole. What would you say is the top issue besides what we've already talked about that you've heard from constituents in the past year, and what are you doing to address that?
One of the top issues, if not the top issue, is the cost of housing in New York. We have people who have lived in our community their entire lives who are being priced out. And the truth is that there is just not enough affordable housing for the people who live here. And it's affecting the whole city. And I actually believe that it is posing a threat to the existence of the New York that we know now. New York for generations, for hundreds of years, has been a place where people could come from all over and make a life, find a place. It was never easy to come here and work your way up and succeed in New York, but it was doable, partly because you could find a place to live somewhere in New York City. You cannot find a place to live anywhere in New York right now for less than thousands of dollars, and that's just wrong. So I've been working with our local community boards to create a pipeline of thousands of units of housing and thousands of units of affordable housing. It will require action from the state legislature, however, because the programs that we use to generate affordable housing, these tax abatement programs, they've expired. So the main tools that we've used to create mixed income housing have expired, and we need those renewed in Albany, a new version of those created, a new version of those that have lower, more room for people of lower incomes. But right now we've got virtually nothing, and we had 0 new units of housing applied for in the whole borough of Manhattan in July. Older adults are one of the most at-risk communities, and we have tens of thousands of older adults on the waiting list for housing, and we don't have anything to produce for them right now. We've got to get much more serious about this and much quicker.
That's certainly a big issue. And finally, in the last few minutes that we have here, is there anyone whom you've worked with in your district over the past year that you'd like to recognize for their positive impact on the community?
I want to recognize the senior centers in our district that stepped up during the pandemic and in these years during the recovery of the pandemic. When I was a candidate for city council, when I was a staff member at the city council during the pandemic, I worked with our local senior centers and hundreds of volunteers on getting, we set up this huge network to get vaccines for seniors, because you needed to be, if you recall, you needed to be tech savvy to sign up for a vaccine appointment. Remember that? Yep. So we matched up seniors with tech savvy people, and we helped get hundreds of seniors their vaccines, but that was in partnership with our local senior centers like Penn South Senior Center, Encore, Greenwich House, Hudson Guild. It's been an awesome partnership that has continued since then, and we're so lucky here to have such a great patchwork of senior centers and other programs like OATS that connect seniors with social networks, with access to technology, access to basic needs. And I'm so proud to support them and have the opportunity to work with them.
Well, Councilmember Bottcher, it was great to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And that concludes this installment of In the Community With, sponsored by AARP. I'm Robert Pozaricki. Thanks for watching and have a great day.